Most people fail with the law of attraction because, well, they only understand about 10% of it.
Right. Just the absolute surface level.
Exactly. I mean, we're doing a deep dive into the whole thing today, starting with the four most important chapters. But here's the harsh truth. You don't lack motivation. You're programmed to fail.
Yeah, and until you actually understand the operating system of your own mind, all those vision boards and, positive affirmations,
I'm not going to do anything.
nothing. They won't move the needle at all.
So think about your reality for a second. You plan a lot, but you rarely act. You start strong, then you quit. You doubt yourself even when you try. And if that hits a little too close to home right now, you're definitely not alone.
Oh, absolutely not. That is the default human condition for so many of us.
Right. So welcome to the deep dive. By the end of this, you'll see exactly why your life hasn't changed. We take your requested source material. Today, it's Sam Segura's book, The Law of Attraction, The Ultimate Secret. And we unpack the actual behavioral psychology behind why you do what you do.
And we really need to position this properly right out of the gate, because the term law of attraction has
Just so much baggage.
so much baggage. It sounds like, vague motivational fluff.
Right, like I'm just going to sit here, wish for a sports car, and boom, it's in my driveway.
Exactly. But the source material is actually a really hard-hitting synthesis of modern neuroscience and Buddhist mindfulness. It's deep truth, and it's a practical transformation.
So let's just jump right into chapter 1, because we have to unpack the biggest lie we've been sold about positive thinking.
The whole ask, believe, receive model.
Yeah. People think that just thinking about a goal is enough. Like you set a goal, you think about it rationally, and then you just wait.
But thinking is literally just the starting line. The author argues that feeling is the actual required engine.
And this is where it gets crazy. This is the viral insight from the text. Your mind listens to emotions, not words.
Right, because the brain does not know the difference between a real memory and a vividly imagined, deeply emotional scenario.
Wait, really? Like chemically, it can't tell the difference?
Chemically, neurologically, no. It only responds to the chemical signals of the emotion. So when you imagine something with intense feeling, your brain creates the exact same neural pathways as if you were physically doing it.
Wow. So you're literally tricking your nervous system into believing the future has already happened.
Exactly. But what happens if your emotions don't match your goals?
Oh, that's a huge point. We'll definitely come back to that. But first, the sources give some insane examples of people tapping into this, like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, the acting story. Yeah.
So to play a paralyzed man in My Left Foot, his mental image of that physical reality was so absolute and so intensely emotional that he wouldn't break character between takes.
He forced them to carry him around the set, right?
Yeah, he literally broke 2 ribs from hunching in the wheelchair. Because he wasn't just thinking about being paralyzed. He forced his nervous system to actually feel it.
That is intense, but it shows the power of the concept. The book also mentions Bill Gates.
Right, with Microsoft Windows.
Yeah, when he was designing it, he didn't just start by staring at raw code. He started with the end result in his mind. The user-friendly interface.
He felt the solution first.
Exactly. He saw it, felt it, and worked backward from that emotional certainty. It's backward engineering your reality.
Okay, wait. Let me push back on this a little bit, because my skepticism is definitely flaring up here.
Sure, go for it.
I get the idea of starting with the end in mind. But doesn't this sort of border on toxic positivity?
How so?
Well, you can have the destination programmed into your mental GPS.
Right.
And maybe emotion's the gas in the tank. But if you don't physically press the gas pedal, you aren't going anywhere. You can't just sit on the couch, feel really good about making $1 million, and expect it to just manifest. Action has to be the bridge.
Oh, absolutely. And that is exactly where most surface-level self-help completely falls apart. Emotion without action is just daydreaming.
Okay, good. So the book actually addresses that.
It does. It explores what actually drives human action. Because imagining the destination is utterly useless if you leave yourself an exit route.
An exit route.
Yeah. The reason people just sit on the couch isn't because they visualize their goal incorrectly. It's because their subconscious knows they have a safety net.
Wow. So they haven't forced their brain into a state where action is the only biological option.
Exactly. Which brings us perfectly to chapter 2 and the Julius Caesar story.
Oh, I love this story. This really clicked for me when I was reading the source. So Caesar is sailing to an enemy shore.
And he is completely outnumbered.
Completely. And he understands human psychology better than anyone. He knows that if his men have a way out, if they can just run back to the boats when the fighting gets brutal, they won't fight with everything they have.
Right, they'll just retreat.
Yeah. So what does he do? The second they land on the beach, he orders his men to burn their own ships.
Burn the ships. It's such a profound psychological trigger.
It creates that no-escape mindset.
Exactly, because when there is no way back, your brain rewires itself to survive forward. A clear, emotionally charged mental image of success inherently blocks out trivial temptations.
It completely kills procrastination.
Yeah, your brain stops allocating resources to Plan B. It channels 100% of your cognitive function into making Plan A a reality.
So I have to ask you, listening right now, what is your burn the ships moment?
That's the real question.
Yeah, what's the backup plan you're secretly holding on to that is actually guaranteeing your failure?
Because if you have an exit strategy, your brain is going to take it, especially when things get hard.
It reminds me of, like, an Olympic athlete. People always marvel at their discipline.
Oh, for sure.
But according to this framework, an Olympic swimmer doesn't actually use massive amounts of willpower to skip a night of drinking with friends.
No, because their goal of winning gold is so absolute, the emotional reality is locked in.
Right. The temptation to party just doesn't even register as an option. The choice was made by their future vision.
Exactly. Willpower is exhaustible. It drains throughout the day. But a burn the ships mindset relies on identity.
Willpower.
Right. The book brings up the 1980 American Olympic hockey team. A bunch of amateur college kids playing the unbeatable professional Russian team.
The miracle on ice.
Yeah. Their coach, Herb Brooks, didn't just give them a pep talk. He drilled them until their belief was completely unshakable. They had a mental image of victory that was emotionally stronger than the Russians' image of dominance.
And your brain doesn't know if it's real, only if it feels real.
Precisely. And that transitions us into Chapter 3, Reality Creation. To understand why we default to the easy route, we have to look at how thoughts actually accumulate.
The book has a really cool metaphor for this. Thoughts as tiny drops of water.
Yes, one drop is completely insignificant. It just evaporates.
We have, what, like 60,000 thoughts a day?
Around there, yeah. And when those drops gather together, they form emotions, and those emotions act like a powerful rushing waterfall.
And that waterfall carves the literal landscape of your life.
Right. And the text emphasizes that 90% of our decisions are driven by those emotional currents, not by our rational logic.
Which is crazy, because society constantly tells us to be strictly logical. We love to think of ourselves as these highly rational creatures making spreadsheet-level decisions.
But we really aren't. Not at all. A strong, positive, emotional energy can literally neutralize negative energy within yourself.
Like basic chemistry.
Exactly. You don't outthink a deep psychological problem, you outfeel it. Logic is incredibly slow and clunky compared to the processing speed of human emotion.
And the book uses Einstein to back this up, which I thought was fascinating.
Oh, the piano story.
Yeah. Einstein didn't discover relativity by just staring at equations until his eyes bled. When he got stuck, he didn't try to force more math. He stepped away and played the piano.
He used imaginative emotional states to let the answers flow in.
Right. He famously said imagination is more important than knowledge.
Because logic gets you from A to B, but imagination takes you everywhere. He visualized himself riding alongside a beam of light. He had to feel the physics before he could prove them.
The math was just the tool to translate the feeling later.
Exactly. Trying to outthink your problems usually fails because the real puppet master of your life operates in a completely different language.
And if you're still listening right now, you are starting to see the pattern.
You really are.
You do not control your life consciously, your patterns do.
And that puppet master is the subconscious mind, which Chapter 4 dives into.
And Chapter 4 is honestly a little terrifying.
It is genuinely unsettling because the subconscious is incredibly powerful, but it is also completely literal. It does not understand the concepts of no or don't.
Wait, break that down. How does it not understand no?
Well, it operates purely on imagery and the emotional weight attached to that imagery. So if you say, I don't want to be broke.
It essentially strips away the word don't.
Yes. It only records the vivid imagery and the fear-based feeling of being broke. Because to process the concept of not wanting something, your brain first has to imagine the thing you're trying to avoid.
Oh my God. It's exactly like a modern social media algorithm.
Come here, man.
Like if you go on your feed and you actively engage with a video, just to leave a comment saying, stop showing me this terrible content, the algorithm doesn't understand your protest.
Oh, wow. Right.
It only sees that you've spent time on the video, you felt an emotion enough to type a comment, it registers that topic as highly relevant to you.
And then your whole feed is flooded with the exact thing you hate.
Yes, your subconscious works the exact same way.
That is a brilliant analogy. The subconscious is an algorithm that learns exclusively through engagement, feelings, and imagery. It's a recording device. It doesn't judge good or bad.
It just takes the emotional imprint you give it most often and seeks out more of it in the physical world to prove you right.
Exactly. Which brings us to a massive behavioral roadblock, the danger of envy.
Oh, this hit me so hard when I was reading the source.
It's confronting, isn't it?
Very. The book explains that if you see someone else succeed, like a coworker gets a promotion or a friend buys this incredible house, and your immediate internal reaction is jealousy or bitterness.
Your subconscious algorithm records a very specific equation.
Right. It logs. Success equals pain. Success equals bitterness.
And because the primary biological job of your subconscious is to protect you from pain, it will actively sabotage you from achieving success yourself.
Because why would it let you achieve something that it believes causes you emotional distress?
Exactly, but here's the wild part. You can hack that exact system.
Okay, tell me how, because I need this.
To trick your subconscious, you have to genuinely celebrate other people's success as if it were your own.
Wow.
Yeah. When you see someone win and you force yourself to feel genuine joy for them, your subconscious records a new equation. Success equals joy.
So by doing that, you are literally programming your own mind to attract those opportunities.
Right, because the subconscious doesn't know the difference between their success and your success. It only tracks the emotion you attach to the concept.
That is a massive paradigm shift.
Yeah.
I mean, we are essentially wiring ourselves for long-term failure every single time we scroll through Instagram and feel bitter about someone else's highlight reel.
We are feeding our own algorithm poison every single day.
So how do we stop this?
The source goes deep into the Buddhist concept of mindfulness, specifically present moment awareness.
Okay.
Humans have this unique capability. Animals operate on pure instinct, reacting to their environment. But humans have the metacognitive ability to step back and observe our own thoughts without acting on them.
The book had that great visual for this, comparing our negative thoughts to potholes in a dark road.
Yes, the driving at night metaphor.
Right, if you're driving at night, you don't need to see the entire city. You just need your headlights to illuminate the 10 meters right in front of you so you can steer around the potholes.
And mindfulness is that headlight.
Yeah.
When you shine that light of non-judgmental awareness on a negative emotion, a really remarkable mechanism takes over. The author says emotions are actually quite fragile when you just observe them.
So if you look directly at a feeling of intense anger or jealousy without judging yourself for it,
Without feeding it more narrative.
it just pops like a soap bubble.
Exactly. It loses its biochemical power because you stopped feeding it the oxygen of your attention.
Okay, I do need to pause here though, because I want to bring up something from the text that definitely made me raise an eyebrow.
The Chopra Center experiment.
Yes. The book claims they took white blood cells from a person, put them in a chest tube, and then told the person in another room to pretend to cut their own hand.
Right.
And allegedly, the white blood cells in the isolated test tube reacted and prepared to fight an infection before the knife even touched the skin.
Yeah, that's a big claim.
My skepticism alarm was ringing so loud, it sounds like science fiction or quantum mysticism. Does the source explain an actual biological mechanism for that, or is it supposed to be metaphorical?
It's a really fair question. We have to approach those specific claims with critical thinking. The text uses that experiment to illustrate a concept of deep quantum-level interconnectedness.
Which where a lot of people might just check out.
Fair enough. But even if you view the test tube example as purely metaphorical, the internal biological mechanism it points to is absolute verifiable science.
Okay, break that down for me.
Your entire body, down to the cellular level, is constantly eavesdropping on your internal monologue. If you hold a mental image of danger, your amygdala triggers your nervous system to flood your body with cortisol and adrenaline.
Right, the fight or flight response.
Exactly. Your immune system function actually alters based on your stress levels. If you hold a mental image of safety and victory, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin.
Creating a totally different cellular environment.
Exactly. So while the external test tube claim is definitely extreme, the core truth is undeniable. Your biology reacts to your emotional state in real time.
So bringing this all together, bridging the gap between theoretical biology and our daily lives, let's distill the actionable system from these 4 chapters into a rapid, concrete sequence.
Let's do it. Step 1 is to define a clear goal. but you must do it without desperate attachment.
That's a huge point in the text. Desire, in the desperate sense, creates suffering.
Right. If you want something so badly that you feel empty without it, you're actively broadcasting the emotion of lack to your subconscious.
You're constantly telling your brain, I don't have this.
And the algorithm just feeds you more of the reality of not having it.
The book says to act like a lion hunting its prey. The lion is hungry, obviously, but it doesn't run around the savannah crying about how hungry it is.
It waits calmly, focused.
Yeah, no desperation ruining its strategy. It operates from a place of certainty.
Which brings us to step 2. Visualize your goal, but as a moving, dynamic, mental movie infused with intense emotion.
Not just a static, boring picture on a vision board.
No, you have to feel the specific joy, the relief, the physical triumph. Your brain needs that emotional chemical signature to start building the new neural pathways.
Step 3 is practicing that present moment awareness. You have to catch your negative thoughts like those potholes in the road.
When you feel the jealousy or self-doubt creeping in, just observe it. Don't fight it. Fighting gives it energy. Just watch it until it dissipates.
And then step 4, act as if the success has already occurred. Be the person who has already achieved the goal in your microactions.
The book uses the parking spot example.
Right. If you're trying to get a spot in a crowded mall, don't grip the steering wheel projecting anxiety. Project the calm certainty that the spot is already yours.
It sounds trivial, but you're training your nervous system to exist in a state of accomplishment rather than a state of seeking.
Honestly, it sounds incredibly simple, but it is clearly not easy.
Oh, it's very hard. It requires constant, unrelenting vigilance over your own mind.
You have to be the strict bouncer at the door of your own thoughts, every single minute of the day.
It is exhausting at first, which is why most people quit and revert to their old algorithm. And you have to use tools to reset when you inevitably stumble.
Like forgiveness. The text mentions absolute forgiveness. Holding a grudge is like typing, "Give me more reasons to be angry," into your mental search engine.
And gratitude, that is the ultimate tool. When you feel genuinely grateful for what you have right now, you flood your system with the emotional signature of abundance.
You prove to your algorithm that you are already successful, which just opens the door for more.
Exactly. Which brings us to the ultimate, uncompromising core truth of all this material, the climax of everything we've unpacked today.
Let's hear it.
You don't get what you want.
Right.
You get what you believe you deserve.
Wow. That is heavy.
It is. It's the absolute truth of human behavior.
So what does this all mean for you right now? I want to leave you with a really tough identity-level question to chew on today.
It's a necessary question.
If your subconscious is blindly recording your dominant emotions every second of the day, using them as the blueprint for your future, what kind of life are you unconsciously creating right this very minute?
That is the mirror you have to look into. Are your daily quiet emotions building the future you desperately want? Or are they silently building the future you are most terrified of?
Keep a close eye on your thoughts today. Now, in part 2, we are going to break down the specific beliefs that are silently destroying your progress. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you in the next one.